What's Your Dream? By Simon Squibb. Introduction. The unasked question. Have you ever felt like there's something more to life? A quiet whisper inside suggesting you're meant for something different, something bigger? But then, the noise of daily life, the bills, the responsibilities, drowns it out. What if I told you that whisper holds the key to a richer, more fulfilling life? Welcome. In this audiobook review, we'll journey through What's Your Dream? Find Your Passion, Love Your Work, Build a Richer Life. By Simon Squibb. We'll explore how to uncover that dormant dream, shatter the myths holding you back, and discover the practical steps to turn that dream into your reality. You'll learn not just why a dream matters, but how to actually achieve it. Now, who is Simon Squibb? He's not your typical entrepreneur. Simon started his first business while homeless at just 15. He later co-founded and sold a creative agency, Fluid, to PricewaterhouseCoopers for a life-changing sum. But here's the interesting part. Achieving financial freedom didn't bring him the ultimate happiness he expected. It led him to a profound realization about dreams and purpose. Today, Simon is widely known for his viral social media presence, especially on TikTok, where he approaches strangers asking, "What's your dream?" He even bought a staircase in London, famously fitting it with a doorbell where anyone can come and pitch their dream. His mission, through his platform Help Bank, is to help 10 million people start their businesses for free, fueled by his philosophy of #GiveWithoutTake. This book is a distillation of his incredible journey, his hard-won lessons, and his passionate belief in the power of dreams. It's a refreshing, down-to-earth guide from someone who has truly walked the talk. Ready to find out what your dream is and how to achieve it? Let's begin. Section 1. The Myths That Keep Us Small. Simon kicks things off by confronting the societal myths that often suffocate our dreams before they even have a chance to breathe. Sound familiar? First, there's myth number 1. The harder I work, the luckier I get. Simon admits he believed this for years. We're taught that sheer effort is the golden ticket. But Simon realized hard work alone doesn't guarantee success. He's seen countless people burn out chasing this ideal. The real magic, he found, happens when you work smart, often when your mind is relaxed, not just when you're grinding. This myth, he argues, dangerously tells us not to dream if there's risk involved. Then comes myth number 2, failure means disaster. This is a big one. We're conditioned from school to see failure as shameful proof of inadequacy. But Simon asks you to find any successful entrepreneur, inventor, or artist who hasn't failed dozens of times. He shares his own $1.5 million failure with a comic book venture, Devashard. A painful loss, yes, but he says it was his most rewarding failure, teaching him invaluable lessons. The key, he says, is to embrace failure, learn from it, and see it as a stepping stone. Interesting, isn't it? Next up, myth number 3. It's okay to avoid hard things. In our world of instant gratification, it's easy to choose comfort over challenge, but Simon reminds us that we grow through adversity. The hard things are often more daunting in our minds than in reality. He tells a story of challenging a woman to sell him a pen on the street for $100. She did it in under a minute, and it changed her life because she tackled something she feared. And finally, myth number 4. Possessions make you happy. Simon dreamt of owning a Porsche. When he finally bought it, the euphoria lasted about a week before anxiety and boredom set in. He argues that possessions can end up owning us, limiting our freedom and options. The real choice, he says, isn't mortgage versus rent, but mortgage versus freedom. To truly make space for your dream, Simon urges us to shed these limiting beliefs. But why is a dream so important anyway? Section 2. The undeniable power of a dream and purpose. Simon believes the word dream is one of the most powerful in our language. It's not just a goal, it's the American dream, not the American plan. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream. Dreams are provocative. They make us stop and think. Why does a dream matter? Simon explains it's like plugging yourself into a power source. When you have a dream, you know why you're doing something. He shares the story of Kelly, a dog groomer who overcame a traumatic childhood. Her dream to start Kelly's Canines wasn't just about business. It was about nurturing animals the way she wished she'd been nurtured, turning her pain into profound purpose. That's the magic. A dream, Simon says, also keeps you going through adversity. He cites Malala Yousafzai, who, after being shot by the Taliban for advocating for education, said, "They cannot shoot my dreams." Your dream is bigger than your current problems. And crucially, a dream ignites belief. Sylvester Stallone, broke and unknown, refused to sell the script for Rocky unless he could star in it, turning down life-changing money because he believed in his dream. But a dream needs a companion, purpose. Simon learned this the hard way with his company, Fluid. It was successful, but staff kept leaving. The feedback? The business lacked a deeper purpose beyond making money. They rediscovered their original purpose, to create an environment that celebrated creativity and fairly compensated creatives. Staff turnover plummeted. Purpose, Simon explains, charges your battery. It provides focus and solves other problems like laziness or self-doubt. He tells of Bradley, an ex-Army helicopter engineer turned sports massage therapist, whose purpose became helping people get out of pain. That's the fuel. Ever wondered how to find that purpose if you feel lost? Section 3. Unearthing your dream. The 3 key questions. Simon proposes that the path to your dream begins by looking back, by understanding your life experiences. He offers 3 questions to help you unearth it. Question number 1. What are my likes and dislikes? It sounds simple, but many of us spend our lives doing things we don't enjoy. Simon encourages radical honesty. What do you really love doing? What gives you energy? For him, it was meeting people, sharing ideas, teaching. This led him to start a podcast, which eventually evolved into his current mission. He insists your dream should be rooted in what you love, not just a market gap. Question number 2. What is my pain? This is transformative. Pain, Simon argues, is a powerful motivator that turns wants into needs. His own pain, being abandoned by his mom briefly as a child, his dyslexia, his father's death, and subsequent homelessness at 15, forged his independence and his deep desire to help others avoid the loneliness and lack of support he experienced. He asks, what wrong do you want to right? What suffering do you want to alleviate? Question number 3. How can I help others? Our dreams, while personal, often find their fullest expression in serving others. Delon, the McDonald's employee, dreamt of being a Twitch streamer to make people smile. This question connects your passion and pain to the wider world. It's also a cheat code to understanding your future customer. Answer these, Simon says, and your dream will start to take shape. And if you're unsure if it's the dream, sit with the idea. If you can't stop thinking about it, if it energizes you, that's your green light. Section 4. Overcoming the I can't. The 7 steps of stuckness. So you have an inkling of your dream, maybe even a clear vision, but then the I can't voice kicks in. Simon illustrates this with the 7 steps, a staircase of excuses he encounters when people are stuck. Are you on step 1? I don't have time? Living in survival mode, feeling like dreaming is a luxury? Simon says allowing yourself to dream is the ticket out of this trap. Or step 2. I'm trapped by past problems or debts. He shares the story of David, the chef whose restaurant dream was stalled by undisclosed debts. Honesty and confronting problems are key. Maybe step 3. I don't need it. Often a cover for being trapped by financial obligations like a mortgage you're working a job you hate to pay for. How about step 4? I don't know what my dream is. Simon believes the dream is usually close to the surface, related to something already in your life. Or step 5. I don't know how. This is where fear and overthinking paralyze us. Like Sam in Hong Kong, who had a named catering business idea, Chez Sam, but doubted her ability to launch. Simon helped her cater an event and Chez Sam was born. Perhaps you're on step 6. I'm worried what they'll think. The fear of judgment from loved ones can be a dream killer. Or the final hurdle, step 7. I've tried before and failed. This past experience becomes a barrier instead of a lesson. Recognizing which step you're on is the first move towards climbing beyond it. And once you're ready to move, how do you actually do it? Section 5. Practical launch. Building your boat and starting lean. Simon says, free yourself. First, free your finances. Stop selling your time for money. Start figuring out how to buy time by building something you own, even a side hustle to start. Cut unnecessary costs ruthlessly. Second, free your mind. Business can be simpler than you think. He contrasts complex business plans with Ben Francis, who started Gymshark by sewing clothes in his parents' garage with a machine his grandma taught him to use. Adopt a mindset of small, achievable daily actions. Be kind to yourself, allow room for failure and learning. Third, free your idea, share it. An idea is worth nothing until you talk about it. Caitlin, the photographer, got sponsored by lastminute.com after sharing her dream. Help is everywhere, but you need to ask. Then, it's time to build a boat. This means getting ready to quit your job, even if not tomorrow. If you hate your job, quit. If you don't, make a 6-month plan to build savings or start your dream as a side hustle. Find your first customer. This makes the dream real. Simon tells of giving a Tesco worker $195, money he'd received in tips, as a deposit for her dream care home, making him her first symbolic customer. And then? Go all in. You can't build a company part-time. Forget lengthy business plans, he advises. Instead, do stuff. Research, talk to people, test your product, start poor. Simon emphasizes bootstrapping. His expensive failure, Devashard, taught him the perils of a rich mentality. Not having money sharpens discipline. Define your business model. What are you selling? Often yourself as much as the product. Who is your customer? Be specific. Where will sales happen? Get your first 3 customers. That's when it's real, providing crucial feedback. What about growing that seedling of a business? Section 6. Nurturing growth. People, risk, and persistence. To grow rich, Simon says, aim for 0 first, break even. That's the solid foundation. Small wins compound. His first YouTube video got 150 views. Years later, a 2-hour talk on business got 1.5 million. Grow with the customers you have. Don't just chase new ones. Fluid's early clients became advocates, leading to work with Fortune magazine, which became a game-changing reference. The Pareto principle suggests 80% of outcomes come from 20% of your efforts/customers. Nurture that 20%. Ask for money up front, 50% deposit, to cover costs and reinvest the profit portion into growth. Then, find brilliant people. People matter more than almost anything. For partners, Simon looks for shared moral code but complementary skills. His partnership with Helen, his wife, was foundational to Fluid. When hiring, look for purpose alignment and commitment. Give equity to retain good people. And yes, learn to fire people, especially the 7s and 8s out of 10, because keeping them makes your 9s and 10s leave. Building a community around your brand, not just a customer base, is a superpower. Develop a risk muscle. The more risks you take, smartly, the luckier you get. Simon shares his bill posting stunt on the London Underground, illegal yes, but it got attention for Help Bank's free help message. Understand worst-case and best-case scenarios. Tasha, the vegan patty lady, risked her house savings for her patty business after weighing these. Risk is a muscle. Train it by taking calculated risks. And know when to stand your ground. Like when Simon bought the hk7s.com domain and faced legal threats, only to find the threateners didn't own the trademark they claimed. And finally, keep going. Persistence is key. Michelangelo persisted for 3 years on a block of marble other sculptors had abandoned, creating David. Simon persisted for 9 years to get all 50 dream clients on his initial list for Fluid. But persistence isn't just bullheadedness. You must pivot to persist. Bubble wrap was meant to be wallpaper. Instagram started as a location-based check-in app called Bourbon. Fluid pivoted to e-commerce services during the SARS pandemic. Conclusion: the never-ending dream. So, you've built your business, achieved success. What then? Simon discusses, sell and start again. There's a time to quit, not because you're giving up, but because you're ready for a new chapter, or the money is too good, or you've fallen out of love with the work. Helen, his wife, decided to leave Fluid to become a kinesiologist. This eventually led Simon to realize he too was ready for something new. When selling your business, Simon's advice is crucial. Don't look like you're trying to sell it. Create motivated buyers by building an asset they desire. Fluid was eventually bought by PwC, a buyer Simon hadn't initially expected, after they'd partnered on projects. And after the sale? Don't just retire to the beach if that's not your true desire. Your dream persists. You might start another business, invest, mentor, or pursue your purpose through nonprofits. Simon realized his lifelong passion was helping people with their businesses, first for fees with Fluid, then for equity with Nest, and now for free with HelpBank. This journey of finding your passion, loving your work, and building a richer life is ongoing. The dream evolves, but its core remains. Now, I have a few questions for you to see if the essence of Simon's message has resonated. What's the one myth about success that you realize has been holding you back the most? Can you recall the 3 vital questions Simon suggests asking yourself to uncover your dream? Are you ready to answer them honestly? And what's the very first small practical step you could take, maybe even today, to move towards that dream, however big or small it seems right now? Simon Squibb's What's Your Dream isn't just a book, it's an invitation. An invitation to question, to explore, and ultimately, to act. He ends with a powerful call to action. #Take4. Take 4 minutes each day, 1 to find someone, 1 to learn their need, 1 to help, and 1 to pass the idea on. Because helping others, he believes, is the surest way to help your own dream come true. So, don't just let this be another inspiring listen. Continue your journey of growth. What is your dream, and what are you going to do about it starting now?